Alright, how's it going? My name is Tomahawk400. I am doing a post-commentary analysis of some gameplay for Lost Ark Brelshaza hard mode. I am a Bard player. This video is mostly going to be a VOD review to see how I can improve my rotations, but also a sort of commentary run for my friends who may watch this video. So if you have any tips or advice, you want to leave it in the comment, go ahead and let me know if you're watching this randomly somehow. If you hear some random ass music in the background, I listen to random crap. I think right now it's the Blue Archive orchestral rendition. I forget what the channel is, but yeah, so it's some really random stuff. But if you're hearing that stuff in the background later on, just let me know, just to let you know. Let's see, quick rundown for the people who haven't played Lost Ark or don't know what they're looking at. Raids are so this is Brelshaza hard mode. This is currently the hardest, or at the time of recording, this was the hardest content in the global version of the game. This is an 8-man raid, with the raid group being split in half, 4 and 4. As you can see right here, there's 4 on one side, 4 on the other side. The way buffs work is that every buff or synergy effect, it applies only to your party, aside from like very specific raid-wide buffs, which usually are debuffs that apply to the boss, such as damage amplification grenades or damage reduction spell abilities. This raid is split into 6 encounters, basically. So I'll be probably subdividing this recording into I don't know how many parts, maybe like probably up to 6, but we'll see. Going over my skills real quick just to get a baseline. I have this harp ability, my E, and my sonatina, my W. Those are marking skills which apply a brand on the boss that increases damage taken by 10%. And then I have Sonic Vibration and Heavenly Tune. Can't really see over the video player, sorry. That's a damage attack buff that applies to my party. Then I have Heavenly Tune and Wind Music and Guardian Tune. Those are defensive skills, usually applying either damage reduction or shielding. I also have Storm on my D, which is a meter gain for my ability, or my meter in the center here. And Rhapsody, which is a DR spell, damage resistance spell. And then my ultimate skill is just a giant shield and meter gain. My meter, I have the heal on my second, on the right side slot, and then a damage buff on the left side slot, depending on how much of the efficacy increases. And so the whole gameplay loop, I'm applying branding, attack, and shielding theoretically consistently, while also generating meter to do bursting damage buffs or healing if necessary. At least as a bard, as all the classes have different effects, and then the other support 7 here is an artist, which has a different thing. But yeah, that's. Oh yeah, and then there's battle items like healing pots and stuff, and stagger grenades and stuff like that, which aren't really gonna matter in the early sections. I think mainly like 4 to 6. Gate 4 to 6 is when you need it most. I'm mostly going to be looking at my uptime for my abilities, I think, to improve. So here, Gate 1, we're split into 4 groups of 2, east, west, south, north. Depending on which side you're in, there's a different mechanic. I have a cheat sheet for this, which I always refer to just to double check, but I think this one generally I'm just... Oh, for this one I'm in, I think it's stagger and multi-hit, so it's whatever. Also might lag a little bit just because my computer does that, so sorry about that.
Yeah, good. He has like a 3-second delay before he actually moves to say something.
Oh yeah, and also our shot caller, our raid lead, has having mic issues during this recording. So yeah, there's gonna be some talking because sometimes they talk, but for the most part, I don't really say anything.
Oh, wait.
Okay. That Sonic Vibe was a little early.
He's in my square, so
And then, so we see here that someone on the other side died, so we just reset real quick. I'd say this raid group generally we finish pretty fast. I think this recording was like maybe 2 hours, which is really good for 6 gates. But yeah, it's some shit happens. People like die to random crap. Let's see. I think I ended up being in the same gate, but I actually have a different party member with me, Nicholas here.
I think my armor broke or something. How did I die?
I have my audio kind of low, so I don't really know what they're saying, to be honest. Or rather, I can't hear what they're saying specifically. So, but generally, it's like just banter, yeah. So, yeah, damage buff, shielding, and then try to apply brand as soon as possible. Sonatine for my first brand, and then Harp will pick up the remainder. I usually try to pair the two up, or rather, I try to pair Sonatine up with if I have to re-harp, because Harp is slow for the marking. I ran out of marking here because, and also it only single target, so I really shouldn't be using for this this gate. Because you can see in the up right here, this is my marking skill. Whenever it goes away, that means my uptime is bad for that. Yeah, but and also I've been meaning to like switch my my engravings around. I really think I need max mana because Sonatine costs us so much mana to cast. And I'm Oom like pretty often, which is really really bad. Even with like Conviction Judgment runes and Heavenly Tune's mana regen effect. Like you see here, I just cast like 4 or 5 skills and I'm out of mana. So I should be Sonic vibing here. I don't do it. Ah, there it is.
It's probably good, but
yeah. So we killed our mini boss, and then we group up to a second boss. I do damage buff, they use my ultimate to shield and heal, because I get 1 bar back, so I can use 1 bar for healing. And then we're just wailing on this thing. There's no real special bonus effects during this phase. It's just he has our side has the bow guy, the other side party 1 has the hammer guy. So the hammer guy is and bow guy have different attack animations and stuff, but for the most part it's just dodge the shit on the ground. I think most of the time I'm watching the Sork here, Sylvani. But also I'm mostly damage buffing the GL and the Deathblade, Asuna and Nicholas, because they're melee classes, so it's a lot easier for me to buff them with buff them together with my Sonic vibe, because the mage is ranged, so she moves around more. So it's harder to damage buffer with my stuff that has people on the ground. A damage resist here for in case anyone gets hit by that effect. Yeah, Sonic vibe's good timing. I think it's defense-wise, my uptime for my Guardian Tune is okay, because I have just the half effect tripod, which doubles its how often you use it, basically. Oh yeah, in this phase, I don't know, I didn't say anything. In this phase, the 2 guys combine together, right? So it's the hammer guy and the bow guy. So we're just wailing on him until about 80 bars, I believe. See, should be using 5 here. I'm looking for it. I try to hit like at least 2, hopefully 3 if I can, but it's whatever. It's like a secondary skill. The main one I'm trying to hit is Heavenly Tune, but Heavenly Tune doesn't really need hitting. It's a stagger effect, that orange bar on the bottom. Here we have to just position ourselves. Here actually, let me see. Here actually is a pretty good example of a main mechanic that most raids do. There's a lot of times there's mechanics on the map, if you can see, like on the top, north, south, east, west. And the way we usually subdivide is by party number. So you see I'm party number 4 here. So if we did, it's something called x3 and x3 plus 1. So you take your party number and multiply by 3. So in this case, I'm 4 by 3, right? 4 by 3 is 12, so I'm at the 12 o'clock position at the very top. And then same thing, 1 times 3 is 3 o'clock position, 2 times 3 is 6 o'clock position, 3 times 3 is 9 o'clock position. And then sometimes if it's the alternate or orthogonal position, so like in the northwest, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, southeast position, those are plus 1. So it'd be party 1 is x3, party 2 is x3 plus 1. I'll show you again in a later raid, or a later gate. I'll point it out rather. But yeah, generally that's how most people will position. I think pretty much everyone will position ourselves, so that we don't have to like type it out in chat like, hey, I'll take this spot or this spot. So yeah, both for this mechanic, there's 2 squares that light up in each direction, and that's 1 square is per person. So both 4s are up here. So there's a square right here, if you can kind of see in the corner, and then my square is up here. The square avoids a wipe mechanic. Pretty simple.
So quiet.
I should throw a heal here because everyone's taking damage, but they pot. So I still needed it because Nicholas was low. Should damage buff right on here with Sonic Vibe. Window Music, Sonic Vibe, there it is. This is a stagger. You see the orange bar on the bottom of the moss. Awaken here. I think it's just to use it. Good taunt by the Gun Lancer, Nicholas.
Anyone play Diablo 4 tomorrow?
Probably shouldn't have branded there with Sonatine because I'm gonna need to reharp here in a second. Well, actually, it's back up, so. Sonatine. Oh, nope. Sonatine got disrupted, which is not good.
You're gonna go for the hardcore? No, I'm just asking because.
Okay, next mech at 40. So he jumps to the center and spawns a bunch of mobs. So the raid lead's using a limit break if you're familiar with Final Fantasy. That just destroys all the minions basically, and we have to counter here. My counter is my storm ability, but it's hella slow, so it's probably bad. But it is what it is. After every counter, someone's gonna be silenced, and they have to move out. So that's why everyone's like running around trying to block these arrows. I hit mine, so I'm trying to cover this upper corner here. This one is kind of chaotic. You don't really usually people call out where they're going, but yeah. Damage buff here because it's that deepest window. Shielding in case the sword takes damage. 4 bubbles. Oh, there's something about damage buff, I guess, with either me or Seven, I'm not sure. And then that's basically it for this encounter. Counter again, or rather stagger again. Yeah, so the timing there usually is pretty good, I think, for my Heavenly Tune. I'm not sure, or for my Sonic Vibe, because my Sonic Vibe, I time my Sonic Vibe off my Heavenly Tune. I think I just need to spam my Heavenly Tune more. It's a 13-minute. I'll see. I'll keep talking now. So here's the MVP screen. I'm Garbo, so I didn't show up, but